to begin.
Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Social Primate podcast. We're out here recording out of Cruzitas in HP with Emmanuel Carrera of YIPPS, one of the founders of YIPPS.
Yeah.
What's up, dude?
I'm doing well. Just enjoying the plants outside here, Cruzitas, and this little patio that they really have here. But I could be coming here all the time. I mean, I go through phases. Sometimes we come 3 times a week, maybe just a few times a month. But always a spot where I always feel welcome.
No, that's cool. It definitely has those vibes. Like, they just let us set up here and just record. So, It's really cool that they're open to that.
Just yesterday, I came and I put up one of the flyers that you graciously printed out for us. Appreciate that. Yeah. But I asked if I could put the flyer up, and they were like, yeah, like you can, like, you're always welcome here.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is very kind.
Yeah, right now that I'm ordering my food, there was like this little free book stand with like business cards of local businesses. I was like, dude, this is cool, man. Like, it feels like, at the place I work, when you stop by, we kind of have something similar going on. It's not necessarily like our community per se, but they do pretty much the same thing where they let people kind of like a community board, like a community wall where people can come in and be like, hey, what's going on around my neighborhood? And I think this is one of those places, amongst other places that I've seen locally, that have the ability to showcase that kind of stuff going on,
Yeah, and truly like a center space for people to like come from the community. I'm always running into people from high school and running into people from different places.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, what the heck? Yeah, no, it's really cool. But I mean, with one of those things, you have YIPPS going on. And most, it's going to be happening in the next 2 weeks. People are listening now and about, what is it, October 13th to the 15th, right? Dude, tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, what can I even say? There's just so much. There's just so much there. I think YIPPS has just been a manifestation of everything that I really care about, I think. Like, I really care about music. I really care about community. I really care about, like, bringing people together and, like, connection to the natural world, connection to each other, and, like, really, like, just being more human, I guess. And that's just what YIPPS has been since the very beginning.
At this point, this is your guys' second year?
It's actually we're entering our second year. We just turned a year in July.
Oh, that's right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with this idea, like, what was the thought process? Like, you just were like,
yeah,
I want to do a music festival?
No, it's really funny because, like, YIPPS kind of fell on our laps, Like, I had a friend from out of town. He's actually from New York. His name is Jorge, and he was in LA, and like I hosted a few talent shows when I was in college with my friends, and like he was in town and he played the drums. He's like, Emmanuel, I want to jam out with you, like let's play the drums, and you play guitar, you have access to drums. And my cousins have a bunch of music stuff. I was part of a church choir growing up, so access to music was always like really easy. But yeah, and he was like, let's jam out. And I was like, let's do it, like in the backyard, in the park. And he's like, wherever. And I was like, all right. So I really took the wherever to mean the most possible.
Yeah.
So we went to the top. Have you been to Elysian Park?
Elysian Park, yeah. You know what? Recently, I've been there only once, and it was only my first time in the last fucking 3 months.
Yeah, it's so nice there.
It's such a cool spot.
But yeah, Elysian Park, we went up there. I connected some power things to my truck. And we just like, I just posted on my Instagram story, not really thinking people were going to show up. But like 11 of my friends came. I mean, people that like my friends live with and stuff. And like 11 of us went there and really made something. That day it was just all of, like, we had a mic, we had guitars, we had drums. People would like play drums. They had never touched drums before. And like, people were like going on the mic and like reading poems or like even like doing like stand-up skits and stuff. So it just became a spot for like expression. I
love how you put that, because you didn't, you guys came in there with an idea of just bringing instruments, but then it evolved to like, encompass everything else where people enjoy,
Yeah, and like it truly became like a very communal, like expressive space. And then we all loved it. 11 of us went, and it was just like such a cathartic night. I know like the park ranger person like closed the gates on us and we couldn't leave.
Yeah.
So from the beginning it was chaos. Yeah, we loved it.
Did you guys have to call the people to come?
Yeah, we called, and it took us like 15 minutes, and the cops came, and like I had to talk to them, be like, hey man, like, can you let us out?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just don't do it again. I mean, they were like fine.
Yeah, they're probably like, God damn it,
like,
again.
Again? People are getting locked again in here. A bunch of my friends hated while the cops came. It's pretty funny.
There's only one guy. Let him out. No, dude, that's cool. So I mean, it basically just started with the love for music, the love for just bringing people together, and then since then it's just kind of it became its own thing. And then when did you move to Joshua Tree? That was just last year?
Yeah, it was last year. So after that first one, the next week we were like, let's do it again.
Yeah.
So we did it again the next week at the New LA Bridge opening. You remember when the New LA Bridge opened?
LA Bridge, the 6th Street Bridge?
6th Street Bridge. And like, it was just like packed all the time. Mm-hmm. That first weekend,
like
we posted up under the bridge and we played music.
Oh, damn.
And like, we got shut down again. But like, 30 to 40 people showed up that time. And that was the day that was like, yo, this could be something. And like my friends were also like, yo, this could actually be something.
Just to add to that, like the fact that you guys are thinking of this idea, like this festival comes with a bunch of planning, logistics, like manpower, fucking whatever you want to think about in terms of your festival. It's just you're handling people. And then making sure that they have the needs that they require for the fucking festival. Yeah. And it's like, dude, that takes so much. And you guys just kind of like took it on a whim. I mean, you build up to it slowly based on what you're telling me. But you still took the challenge and you're like, fuck, let's do it. Let's roll with it.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy, honestly. Like, because the first show was in July and the first festival was in November. Mm-hmm. So it was like, how many months is that? 4 months?
Yeah. About give or take.
To the first one, to the actual festival was 4 months. And like, during that time, I was like, yo, I don't know. I wanted this to be crazy. I think during that point in my life, like, I have an online business and stuff. And like, right now, I'm in the current process of changing out of that. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know. I think I've always had an itch to like create things for people. I've always had an itch to create spaces that people could like feel welcome. Mm-hmm. People create spaces that like just make people feel more alive.
Yeah.
So like YIPPS is just this thing that landed on my lap that I was like, yo, like this could be the perfect thing to make other people feel alive, but not just that, but make me feel alive. Mm-hmm. And like, I told my friends, because I have some land in Joshua Tree. I bought it a year before that from my cousin. Yeah. My cousin Gabriel. I bought the land from him and had the land. And my friends were like, where are we going to post up next? And I was like, let's do it in Joshua Tree. Let's do a festival. And they were down, you know?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, Joshua Tree, for the people who haven't been out there, is beautiful. I mean, you go out there and you're like, man, it's just dry and hot and just, brown and fucking orange because of the fucking dirt. But it's like, no, dude, there's something more to it, So when I heard about it, you walked up to me to the booth at the Stella Arts Fest, and you started telling me about YIPPS, and I was like, dude, I kind of heard about this before, like, it's like a do-it-yourself fucking communal festival, and then you started telling me more about it. I was like, dude, I've been knowing of you since you were fucking like 10 or something.
Yeah.
So when I heard that you were the, part of one of the minds behind YIPPS, I was like, dude, that's so cool. It's somebody from the neighborhood, somebody from our community. We're really trying to put this out there. Like, yeah, it's out in Joshua Tree, but that's the point of it. It's like we're trying to get people who are not used to going to these places to step out of their comfort zone and go into nature and really experience something that disconnects you from what we know right now.
Exactly. And like, it's about, I think, like reclaiming the natural world once again. Yeah. I think like us here in Southeast LA, like we are like, a big percentage of us are native people. Of course, we're mixed with European and other stuff, but like we are like native peoples that were connected to land, that were connected to like the world in different spaces that we have lost touch with. So I think going out to the desert again, it has become a challenge to have people from Southeast LA want to go to the desert.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, 2-hour drive, and like we didn't grow up going to natural spaces.
Yeah.
Like we didn't. I mean, I was lucky enough to do it because my tío Jesus, he would always take me and all my cousins out. But like a lot of my friends, like they've never been camping, they've never like done all these natural world things. So I really hope that YIPPS turns into a space where people feel comfortable trying it for the first time. People feel comfortable like trying to reconnect with that part to themselves.
Yeah, no, it's important. It's important to do so. And I mentioned that story to you too. That one of my brother-in-laws, he was like, "I've never been camping. I don't want to go camping." And we had taken him to Lake Paris, which is fairly close. It's like an hour or so away. He took we stayed there for a night, but he had like the best time, just disconnected, just chilling by the fire. Just hanging out, going to the lake. Just doing things you don't normally do. And by the time he came out of that, he was like, bro, when's the next one? And I was like, hell yeah, that's what you want, because there is a peace when you're there. So when you bring peace, music, and good vibes together, that's a good recipe for some good shit. I mean, I know at the same time, since it's do it yourself and people are just going out and camping, there's still some challenges that they personally have to go through.
For sure.
That you're trying to facilitate or make easier, by being prepared for it, right? That's what you're doing with the workshops that you've been building up.
Exactly. Really trying to get people like prepared. I remember the first festival, like, it was really cold, yo. Yeah. Like, it was really cold.
It was at the same time? No, November.
November, yeah. We're doing a month before. It won't be that cold. Yeah. It was really cold, and like, I was really nervous for it. But I kept telling people, like, bring blankets, yo, bring jackets. And people didn't listen. But like, I learned. I aprendieron, But like, yeah, trying to get them prepared for these things.
Yeah, no, that's the survival part is another challenge, man. I went to Joshua Tree too, like in November, thinking I was cool. Like, yeah, we're gonna go just randomly camp out. I didn't sleep the whole night because I was just so cold. I was just shaking, like, oh no, man, I fucked up. I woke up. I mean, I did never fall asleep, but I got out of the tent like at 5 a.m. I just took a hike, and that kind of warmed me up a little bit because you're walking, But still beautiful experience, but yeah, you can't mess around with nature.
But like this time, October 13th to 15th would be the perfect time, I think. Like the weather will be fine. During the day, it'll be 70 to 80. At night, it'll be like 50.
Yeah.
So we'll be good. Not to mention the celestial events that will also be happening.
And you were telling me about that you guys, it kind of all falls into place with what's going on, right?
Yeah. It really like, I don't know, more surprises come from that weekend. I remember we set the 13th to 15th date. We were like, oh, it's going to be a new moon. It's going to be really cool. A meteor shower, new moon. And then I started looking more into it. And like, also a solar eclipse happening that Saturday. Like from 8:30 in the morning to 10:30 in the morning. And then I looked more into it. Like, oh, it's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. For those spooky lovers.
Yeah, exactly. It's spooky.
I know, man. No, that's so cool. Again, it's just such a cool idea. And the fact that you guys are just taking it into your own hands to really make a music festival is so cool. Because I mean, I've done my share of festivals over the last couple of years where you pay like these extravagant amount of money just so you can wait in line like for a bunch of stuff. I mean, of course it comes with the fact that a bunch of people are showing up, but at the same time, as a event promoter or whoever's hosting it, you should know and expect these crowds, so you want to be better prepared.
Yeah.
And in this case, if people are just camping out, you said it's just land, just people are going to be picking a spot wherever you guys set up and just camping out, right? That's so cool. It basically gives me like Coachella vibes, except when it was a lot cooler back like 10 years ago with the bands, You just get to camp out and just be there for like 3 days, just chilling. Like, where do we shower?
I think we're going to try to attach some water bottles to some poles. Yeah. Have people shower.
Hey, you know what? People need that shit. Necesitamos hacer that reset. Like, fuck, I gotta make sure. I gotta appreciate that I have a shower back at home. Yeah. And, like these basic things that you kind of, you forget. Like most recently, just an example, I had sometimes the water companies like, hey, we're gonna have to cut the water so we can fix the pipes. All right, and you have no water for like 6 hours or something. Yeah, dude, those 6 hours become hard. You're like, you can't even go to the restroom comfortably.
It's like what's going on?
And it's just you go back into like primitive mode. Like, gosh, I'm just gonna go to the back and just dig a hole or something.
Yeah.
Just something. But it's one of those things that you kind of have to reset to appreciate that you fucking have them on a daily.
For sure. And I think it is really important to reconnect with these parts of ourselves that we have lost touch with. Like, because this festival is off grid. Like, we'll have 2 generators running. We'll have like a compost toilet, and then we will have a porta potty.
Yeah.
And we'll have like water to wash our hands and some tables and shade. And that's pretty much it. We won't be connected that much to the outside world. I mean, there'll be a little bit of service for sure.
Damn, that's cool. I mean, honestly, for the people who show up, they're going to have a great time. Like, just, again, you go out there just in the night, just on a random day, on a clear night, of course, you can see the Milky Way. You can see the fucking stars and just random shooting stars. My God, it's just fucking gorgeous. Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to have the music. How many bands do you guys got playing this time?
We actually have 20 different artists playing this time around.
And I think you mentioned there's not going to be any like overlap or stuff.
There won't be any overlap. We'll have 2 different stages. Yeah. Right now we're currently working on the 2nd stage. But yeah, we'll be alternating between the 2 different the 2 different stages. And I'm just like, people like signed up from the community, Even
That's
people
cool.
People from the internet that just, we don't even, haven't even met yet. They're just like signed up. And like, they're just excited to play. We're also going to have an open mic section too. we're really trying to make it like a community type of environment. Like people there who go there for the purpose of creating not just music, but like also art and like also like different things. Remember last festival, there was somebody who like started making a just like a sculpture.
Yeah.
Using everything that we had there.
Some Burning Man stuff, like these crazy ass sculptures and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
And like, I don't know, something about it is so special too is that like you drive out there 2.5 hours and like the drive there is like a commitment, you know? So, you know, everybody there intentionally took time out of their day, out of their life, out of their weekend to be there. So there's this like sense of openness that everybody kind of has that like just talking to each other. So we're talking about a little bit of our YIPPS values and like what we care about, what we want this community to kind of flourish and turn into. We want it to be a place of compassion. We want it to be a place of like love and care and like a place where people could come and like express themselves. And like be like conscious of like we're all different human beings, and of course the essence of the Social Primates podcast is that like I don't know, we are just each live our complex lives and just happen to connect in these brief moments of time.
Yeah, that's very fucking true, man. I mean, again, like these ladies right here, I'm just using an example of the people around us. Like, I don't know them. Like, low-key, I don't care about them. You know, that's just being straight up. Because I don't care about them. I don't know them. But that's what's wrong. Like, I should feel like, hey, they're part of my community. Like, just say hi. You know, I've been working on saying hi to strangers. Like,
that's good.
Just walking my dog. Neighbors are out. No, not even my neighbors, just people down the street. And I'm like, oh, buenas tardes. No, buenos días. And they all respond. Like, they go from, like, really serious faces to, like, oh, they're saying hi to me. Hey. You know, and it changes. You know, I don't do it to everybody, of course, but I'm working towards being able just to be like, even if it's brief moments of time, just to pass that on, like, oh, hey, you know, have a good one, you know, or just be fucking nice with small interactions I come through, you know? And that's what, you know, what's missing. And it's missing because we don't have the opportunities to just chill together for a few days or for more than a few minutes, you know? And when you go to these festivals, you got no choice but to just, you said no reception, you're disconnected. All you gotta really do is just either chill with the people you came with or build new fucking connections, new friendships, and just be put in a situation where you're like, hey, I'm faced with just being a human today, you know, and just fucking connect. Be social, you know?
You're just like, wow, people have a snack and I want that snack. So how can I ask this person for a snack?
You know what I've been thinking? As I'm getting older. I'm not that old, frick am I saying, but I'm 33.
Back in my day.
Back in my day. Nah, I'm kidding. But I feel like as I get older, it's becoming a little bit harder for me to, I guess, label people as friends. I don't know if that's just a personal thing, but I feel like because I don't have a lot of time sometimes to connect with people, you know, it's like, I just know that person, you know? And again, I feel like I'm probably not the only one. So it's like, hey, it's a little harder to make connections because everybody's having such a chaotic day experience, like you mentioned, that you don't have the time to just share common things with each other, you know?
It's like, I think that feeling of connectedness with people, I think for me, it comes with like shared experience. Like you could just know a person for 1 or 2 days and like, if you share a really strong experience with them, you feel connected with them, and then they become your friend. I remember I went to, preparing for the first festival, I was going to a lot of different festivals to get inspiration. So I went to Desert Days, and I met somebody named Jane, and she's part of like a Salamander collective out in Colorado. We met, and we like were moshing to like Frankie and the Witch Fingers, I think, and we ran into each other again after the whole festival, and we like instantly hit it off. We were like friends immediately. I really hope she's able to make it to this festival. But just that kind of connection of a festival of music, of share, I just feel so connected to her. And the magic of the festival of YIPPS and stuff too is that people feel this connection too. I recently talked to someone, one of my friends, Grady, like they're currently living with Shauna, and they actually met at the festival. And they were looking for roommates. They met at the festival. They became friends, and they started living together.
Damn.
And it's like that kind of like, it's just so beautiful. Like, wow, you felt connected enough to like want to continue the relationship.
Yeah, and it's something that you build through a random event that you just showed up to, and that's another thing too. Like sometimes you gotta just show up to things. Like, you know, again, the Joshua Tree trip. 2 hours. I gotta be 2 hours in the car.
Yeah.
People who are not used to it is like, but you just gotta show up and just be open to the experience that you're gonna come into, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you go in there with like high expectations, like, hey, I'm gonna fucking get a hotel, like, nah, you're losing part of the experience right there.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you gotta stay it out and just really connect again. Like, we're going back to this whole connect. It's just community, connecting, just being, you know, in your primitive environment for just a few days, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the magic of it. That is the magic right there.
That is the magic. And like taking that leap of faith, it could be like, oh, I'm scared of this, I'm scared of that. But it's just a leap of faith and just trusting that everything will work out.
What does a YIPPS word mean exactly?
Oh, the YIPPS word. This is a good one. Well, you know, like, remember like when you did your very first podcast, like you were like anxious, excited, nervous.
Yeah.
That kind of feeling, like, or like when you were like growing up, even coming like to our house growing up and stuff, and like going to go play with my cousin and stuff, and running around, and like we're gonna play tag, and you get excited because you don't want to get tagged, and like
I get you. Yeah.
YIPPS is just that feeling you get before you do something exciting, specifically that you care about. So I think when people get the YIPPS for YIPPS is like performers who want to go and like are excited to perform and like showcase their vulnerabilities. So it's like YIPPS is about celebrating vulnerabilities, celebrating this kind of like humanness inside of all of us.
See, that's a good word to put everything into. Is that word something you guys came up with, or is that like a word that already kind of?
I don't know exactly
Yeah.
if it's already a word that came up with that exists, but we have a friend Eitan. Eitan was also like there that first day, and like he's such a gem.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's from New York, and like he would always just do crazy stuff with his friends. And when they would go out into the subway or into throw parties or whatever, they'd be like, "We got the YIPPS, we got the YIPPS, we got the YIPPS."
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just, he just kept saying the YIPPS, and during the very first event, he was like, "Well, I got the YIPPS." We just kept bouncing around. Before the second one, we sat down and we were like, "Yo, what do we call this?" And then YIPPS was just at the very top of it, like just captured the whole essence.
Dude, that's awesome. You know, I'm gonna start using that word. I got the YIPPS, man. I got the YIPPS.
I got the YIPPS.
'Cause I understand that feeling. It is that scary, exciting feeling that it feels a little like uneasy, but you're like, oh no, it feels cool. Like, you know, I don't know, but it's a cool way to put it, because sometimes it is hard to describe these emotions that we're having and to really put like a word on it, like that definition, you know?
Something that I've like learned throughout the years, I think, at least for my body, like, is that like anxiety and excitement come from the same emotion. It's just all about how you think about it. It's the same feeling. Like you feel anxious, like closed off, you just relax your shoulders. It's like, wow, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like my body just can't contain itself.
Yeah, you know, that's a good way to put it, contain it, because that's how it feels. Like there's something that just like, he's kind of like building up, like, oh fuck, what do I do? You know, you just gotta, you know, take a breath. And that's happened to me a lot this last year. Like there's been a lot of moments where I've had like, prime example, Stella Arts Fest. Like I've never been in front of a crowd like that, or having to walk around.
Oh, I didn't know that.
People. No, it was my first one, man. And I was going up to vendors, and I was getting the YIPPS like right before, like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it because it's gonna be fun. And after each one, it got me more comfortable. I was kind of like moving my hands more, being more animado, and it kind of, at the end of it, I felt like I grew a little bit myself, like I evolved, like some Pokemon and shit. You know,
that is so beautiful.
And with each stuff that I've done that's kind of pushed my boundaries, it comes that fear, that excitement, that, you know, air quotes anxiety, but then there's also that excitement of like, dude, you're taking this on, this is gonna make you, it's just gonna step you up, it's gonna level you up. And that's something that I've been kind of chasing myself. Like I mentioned in one of my last podcasts with one of the homies, Rafa, he was saying like, for, you know, you got to do the reps to get more comfortable, right, to just kind of build. But at the same time, it's like feeling those emotions, like you just mentioned, taking that deep breath and just still going through it. And then, low-key, I've been addicted to that feeling of just finding that challenge. Like, oh, if I'm feeling this type of way, it means that there's something else hidden behind it. You know, like there's a growth hidden behind it. So that's how I've been feeling. Like, no, I don't want to go do this. Like, oh no, I should probably bail. I'm like, no, just go through it. You know.
Yeah.
And usually when I go, this happened on Sunday when I went to some event. I was like, nah, I don't want to go. I'm gonna call. I was driving around the parking lot, bro. I was already there, and I was just driving. I was like, there's no parking. I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna tell the guy I'm not coming. I was already there.
There's no parking.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, there's no parking. I'm just gonna tell this guy I'm going home because I was feeling like type of way about it. I was feeling a little uncomfortable, but I was like, why am I feeling uncomfortable? Oh, it's because there's nobody that you really know. That's not an excuse. Meet new people.
Yeah.
So I pushed through. I found parking. I walked, and then I got there, and then through the people that were there that night, 1 or 2 opportunities opened up for me, and I was like, well, fuck. This wouldn't have happened if I would have just got home.
Yeah.
Know? So I was like, okay, and that's just kind of reinforced the idea again that you just gotta show up even when you're feeling these type of ways,
Exactly. And I think, again, like this leaning into all the experiences is something that I carry myself all the time. Like you mentioned, like talking to strangers. I love talking to strangers. Yeah. Like cashiers and people in the street and everything and everywhere. I'm always just talking to people. And like I always come meet the coolest people. I mean, I was just even talking to you, like going up to you, like, yo, what's up with you? What's this podcast thing? And like, oh wow, we already know each other. And or just like I met one of the organizers of Chicas Rockeras.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're here from Sala too.
They're here. I met them at the storage where I have like my stuff for all my business stuff. Mm-hmm. And like I told her about YIPPS. And she was like, oh, we actually have a bunch of extra sound equipment that we don't need. Mm-hmm. And then from Chicas Rockeras, they gifted us a bunch of sound equipment. Damn. And like a lot of things that I would never have like had a chance to like have access to if it wasn't for her, Yeah. And just because I talked and like just because there was this connection, and just, I don't know, it just serendipity, it all just happens in the way that's just so beautiful.
That is really cool, man. It kind of reminds me of this saying that I've also heard throughout the last couple of years is closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
And it's, it becomes true, even with the most basic stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like those things, like you just got to ask, you got to just be open, just give yourself the chance to have opportunities.
Exactly. And like actually ask for help, actually go in and reach into things.
That's a big one.
There's been a really big one for YIPPS too. Like YIPPS at the beginning, like the whole festival thing, like I kind of took it upon myself to kind of make that vision happen. And like, I'm really bad at asking for help.
Yeah.
And that definitely manifested the first 2 festivals. Like I was taking up on all the responsibilities of like renting the porta potties and doing the things. And like, I had my friends, Nicolas and Angel and Cameron and Mariano and Gabriela come out and help me like build stuff out of the festival. But like, aside from the organizing stuff, I was getting super overwhelmed and I did not know how to ask for help.
If you don't mind me just jumping into one of those, is from your personal experience or your opinion, like, if you want to answer this, like, is there a reason why you don't feel like asking for help? Or you have trouble asking for help?
I mean, I think like, I'm an immigrant. Mm-hmm. I'm from Mexico. I came here when I was like 10 years old with my whole family. And coming here, like, when we first arrived here, my mom had like my little sister, my little brother, and like she was kind of busy taking care of them. And like, I don't know, I was always the smart kid or whatever. So I was always seen as a person who could always figure it out. And I always did. Yeah. I always had at the top of the class all the time. And like, I was, I don't know, just expected to kind of figure things out on my own. Even in college and stuff, like I had no help with college applications. Had no help in school really. Or just like, even like with my online business, I was just like, I'm gonna take it upon myself to feed myself, to like do all these things. So it's just like the idea of somebody helping me out. I don't want to burden anybody on things, or assuming that they don't want to help.
Yeah.
I don't know, all these stories that we tell ourselves, like people don't want to help, people don't want to do things, and like, but in reality, like it's exciting things. The YIPPS is, and people do want to help. And like kind of get over myself of like, people do want to help. People want to be part of something.
Yeah. Like
people trust me and people trust the vision, and they want to help.
No, that it's true, man. That somebody told me, like I'm telling you, this fucking last year has been like eye-opening in a lot of ways. And somebody will always come up to me and they'll be like, hey, let me get you something. Let me buy you a drink. Let me buy you some food. Like, nah, I'm okay. I just ate. Blah, blah, blah. And then eventually one day they call me out and they're like, hey, it's okay to take it sometimes, like you don't have to feel any type of way about it. Like, I'm legit just trying to, give you something, like out of my kindness. And I was like, You know, so you should learn to embrace the generosity that people come, like their intentions, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. So when this guy came up to me and he was like, look, it's okay, just allow the abundance to come to your life, you know?
I like that.
You know, and I was like, wow, you know, that is true. Sometimes it just comes, and it's okay to just let it in. You know, you deserve it as well.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it comes in the forms of where people just gravitate towards what you're also building, and they're like, I want to be part of this. I want to help. And that's where that help is coming from, from the heart, you know?
Yeah.
And that is a whole nother level of connection, because in a world where we're just swiping and clicking likes and we assume that we're making this interaction with somebody, us being able to really like, you know, look into each other into the eyes and be like, I'm here because I want to be part of this. I want to help you out. That's like, whoa, you know, because again, you're taking the time, driving, being there, whatever it is, even if it's just outside of YIPPS itself, you're still taking the time, or they're going to take their time to come and do something with you. That's already fucking a lot, man. That's super valuable.
That's like trust.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, that trust is so beautiful. So beautiful. Like, I am so grateful that like YIPPS has been such a learning opportunity for me to like actually lean into community and like have my friends like Angel and Nicolas like have been helping me like build stuff out on the desert, and they trusted me enough to like go out there before it was anything to go build.
Yeah.
You know? Like and like now like I have more people helping out with like YIPPS. We have like we've been having like weekly meetings now, and like Cameron and McKaylee and my sister have also been there to talk about all these things, and like leaning into like trusting that they care enough to like be there, and or like they care enough to like they just care in general.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just me that I have to be the one who makes everything happen, but like I could like rely on others and like just trust. I guess trust is really hard.
Yeah, no, trust is a hard one.
Yeah.
You know, now that you brought that up, like we got to be realistic at the same time. Like, one, okay, do people sometimes act on their own self like interest? Yes, that does happen, you know. But is there also people out there who are willing to help from the generosity of their own heart? Yes. You know, it's up to us to figure out and be able to, you know, read these type of people and be like, okay, I know this person is valuable to me. I'll keep them around. Now, this person is just fake right now. Like, it's okay. And you shouldn't feel guilty to be like, I got to step away from this, you know,
Yeah.
and you just focus on other people who are fulfilling the circle in terms of what you're trying to do. Yeah, I mean, it sounds mean, you know, if you're the person who's being pushed out, it sounds mean. Like, I don't want to be pushed out. But it's like, okay, well, I mean, be self-reflective too. You know, it's at the end, you got to do self-reflective things on your own all the time.
Yeah.
You know, to be consistent as a person with everybody, not just like with some people. But yeah, dude. So again, just getting all these people to focus on one thing, that's fucking cool. You know,
It's unbelievable, actually. Like, I trip out on it all the time. I think I always assumed that people didn't. I guess just like, I don't know, growing up, like people didn't really help me with things. I was just like, had to figure everything out. So it's like when somebody actually wants to help, even like my cousin Alex, like him and I were like, we're pretty tight growing up. Him and I worked in the online business together, and like, I don't know, just like this assumption that people don't want to help. And just recently he's been just so like caring towards me, and like always like bringing me the bitchin' sauce.
Yeah.
Like, and like these acts of love that like we could overlook, but like he was in Costco and like saw the bitchin' sauce and was like, Emmanuel could like this, and he called me and he's like, it's vegan. And ever since then he brings me a pack every time, and like I could have just like, oh, thanks, but like I don't know, I really see that sauce and like as a manifestation of Alex's love towards me.
Yeah.
And like I put it in my sandwich, and I'm like, you know, like I'm enjoying this. It's so little. I don't know.
It's beautiful, man.
It's really beautiful, honestly. I'm getting a little emotional about this.
Yeah.
It's just bitchin' sauce. It's just beautiful that like, I don't know, people have love to give, and like a lot of love just goes unnoticed, I think.
Yeah.
It's just about like being present with and really seeing what people do. Like when you're printing posters out for us, like that was such an act of love. And like I think about this, every single poster I put up, like it's at the forefront of my mind. Like you really took time out of your day to like print that out for us, and you believed in the vision so much. And like I don't know, I see these like little acts of love, and like intentionally thinking about them as like little treasures we could dig out for ourselves, you know?
Yes. And I love how you said that, like you're taking the time to value those things, like to know, hey, these are things that are happening to me. Like the other times, like I just mentioned earlier about the guy saying that about the abundance. I'm like, no, it's okay. You know, I'm cool. You're rejecting somebody's love in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody's admiration for how they feel about you. Like, hey, let me take care of you. This one, it's something small. Like you said, the bitchy sauce. The guy just wants to buy me a drink. I got soda. And I'm like, nah. Like I'm rejecting it. When, you know, because I'm trying to be humble. Like, no, I'm okay. I don't need it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I should take that into consideration. But like, not, you know, nobody really does this. Like this guy is really taking this time to spend his money, to go out of his way to walk to the store, to come back and bring me something. It's like, that is an act of love. And, you know, we think of love and you're like, oh, love, he says he loves you. It's like, nah, bro, it goes further than that. Like, love is just that emotion that you feel when you look at this plants right here and it looks beautiful. And you're like, dude, I'm glad to be here. And like, that's love, you know, like whatever it could be in your definition. But we have to reevaluate what that means to us and then really take these moments that happen to us, like the bitching styles, like the posters. Like, I honestly felt like you said, like, I felt like this strong pull to be like, look, let me help them out.
Yeah.
The point is, we got to make it happen, and we got to find ways to make it happen, and we got to keep spreading that love and learning how to receive the love at the same time.
Exactly. And like being like aware of all the love that people give, and like, I don't know, like just being conscious of all the love. Oh, you know, the music just coming out, like right now it's like a volunteer thing. We're still kind of getting our stuff together, and like, but it's like, I appreciate all the artists who come out and like share their time with us, share their talent with us. And like, I don't know, it gets me really emotional when I really think about it. I'm like, wow, these people are really driving out here because they want to share and they want to create community with us. Even everybody who's like getting a ticket, you know, like it's all like pay what you can model. And the reason I think it's so important to me is because it's about accessibility.
Yeah.
It's about like having people in Southeast Los Angeles, having people all over Los Angeles. We can afford to like be able to go. And it makes also like the relationship to going to the festival that much better, I think, because it isn't, the way I like to think about it is that it's no longer a transaction. It's like a intentional willingness. It's like it's a gift. Yeah. Like you are gifting a donation to come to this festival, and like you're not paying because you have to, but you're paying because you want to. And like people tend to pay 80% of the ticket costs. People could like get a ticket for free if they wanted to, but on average people pay 80% of the ticket cost. And like I'm always like, wow, like people want to support, you know, and like every one of these ticket prices is an act of love, is an act of support, is an act of like, some people even pay more for tickets.
Dude, I mean, like you said, it comes from the person. If they're willing to give more because they can, dude, hell yeah. If you can only do a few things, you know, like a couple bucks, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like you're still thinking about supporting, you know, and like everything counts. But dude, man, it's been an awesome conversation, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Like, if for people who want to get more information of YIPPS now and what you guys are have going on in the next couple of weeks in October, where can people find more information?
Well, you could check us out at YIPPS_LA on Instagram. We also have a website, yipps.org. Tickets will be on the website. And you could also send us an email if you want to get involved or host a workshop or something at gotyips@gmail.com. Come out, and if you have an act and you want to be part of the open mic, we'll be having a raffle for people to perform open mic.
Dude, that's fucking cool, man. It's gonna be awesome. So people, show up, have a great time, disconnect, and you just be open to coming and meeting cool ass people.
There you go.
And just having a badass time.
Disconnect to connect.
Disconnect to connect. Hell yeah. Emmanuel, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah,
thank you guys. Well, I'm for sure gonna see you at the festival. So
yeah.
I'll see you soon, man.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
Why you fighting me? Thought you over me. Trying to exit, please. You keep on blocking me. Let me give you